Coming up on this episode of the MD and Chef Team Show. Coming up on this episode of the MD and Chef Team Show. Without your health, it's hard to make money. It's hard to be happy. It's hard to have good relationships. It's hard to make good decisions. People don't invest money in their health until it really starts to get painful. Welcome to the show from the MD and Chef Team. I'm Dr. Isabel, medical doctor here at the MD and Chef Team. And who are you?
And I'm Chef Michael, culinary nutrition expert. I'm the chef part of the team.
And what are we going to talk about, babe? Now, I can say that because he's my husband.
Yes. Well, then we'll be talking about marriage, relationships, parenting, intimacy. We'll talk about mindsets of success, overcoming depression, anxiety. I'll be getting into functional nutrition, recipes and tips from the kitchen. And we're going to both get into how to live a long, healthy, vibrant life.
Yes, I love it. Our mission is to help you prevent and reverse disease and give you hope in the process. Oh yeah, we like to have fun too. So let's get on with the show. Hello, everyone. It's me, your Dr. Isabel, and I'm going to be talking to you about something that's dear to my heart, and I've entitled this From My Heart to Your Heart. And I hope this lands in your heart really well, and it lets you know that I care about you. And that's why I'm going to go ahead and talk about this, okay? All right, so here we go. Let's go, shall we? Well, I was walking the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, I just have to talk to them about this. This is so important. I want to talk to you about understanding the difference between upstream illness and downstream illness. You see, it's just what we're seeing out there right now is that we're seeing a lot of chronic disease in the form of heart attacks, strokes, obesity, Alzheimer's, just to name a few. And I'm so blessed to be able to work in an urgent care center part-time and being exposed to the pain that these people are experiencing and knowing how frustrated they are that they're not improving. So, I mean, obviously, in a short consultation in urgent care, I cannot talk to them about upstream. And that's why I'm talking to you about upstream care. Because you see, what I'm seeing is downstream, the event. But you know what? If we just look upstream and we understand that almost, I'd say 95% of the chronic disease that we're seeing out there, including brain health issues, that when we don't take good care of our brain health, we've got problems with our mental health. When we realize that a lot of this stuff can be worked on upstream, then that is what I wanted to talk to you about, is that let's start looking at working at things upstream. Unfortunately, the human condition is I'm not going to do anything until it's too painful. And people don't invest money in their health until it really starts to get painful. I want to encourage you to understand that your health is so important. I'm just going to give you a picture of what I'm seeing out there. Without your health, it's hard to make money. It's hard to be happy. It's hard to have good relationships. It's hard to make good decisions. Life's just hard. It's hard to run a business because your health isn't in tip-top form. And look, the bottom line is we're living longer. But the latest research shows that the last 18 years is with chronic disease, which brings about a lot of pain and pills and surgery and just stuff that does not have to happen. I mean, I've been a medical doctor now since 1991, which blows my mind. I can't believe it. And I just am like, oh, wow, it's getting worse and worse. And it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, it's actually crazy for us to think that healthcare begins in a doctor's office. It really does not begin in the doctor's office. It begins outside of the doctor's office in things like this, in podcasts, in education, in online courses, in learning like, wow, what can I do now so that I don't end up with what I'm seeing out there? And I know that we've been dumbed down to think that you can just go to the doctor, they'll check things out and get a pill. But you see, the pill doesn't take care of the cause. There's a statement in functional medicine that if you're standing on a tack, don't just take pills for the pain, get your foot off the tack. And that's what functional medicine does. And that's why I encourage you to start working upstream before it gets very painful and detrimental almost when you're downstream with the event. Prevention is possible. And unfortunately, people wait way too long and they go, oh no, I'll take a vacation. I'll spend the money on the vacation or I'll spend the money on clothes or shoes I'm like, you know what? That's just not right thinking. We've got to understand, where are we going to put our priorities? I mean, my story. I, in 2014, tried to take my life twice in 3 days. I was suicidal. I call myself a suicide survivor now because I survived that. However, my mental health was a mess. I should have never gotten to that place. But you know what? I didn't know any better. And what I've learned from that experience is I was in a downstream event. I should have started working more and more on prevention, on taking care of the anxiety and learning how to sleep better and understanding that nutrition and mental health are very important. But you know what? I didn't know that stuff before. I know that stuff now, and I know how to stay way upstream so that I don't go into that place anymore. Are you afraid of having Alzheimer's? Well, you don't have to anymore. You see, the most up-to-date medical research now shows us having Alzheimer's is an option. Yes, you heard me right. Having Alzheimer's is an option. You can learn how by having your very own personalized pre-code report. Now, you're probably asking me, what is a pre-code report? Great question. Pre-code stands for Preventing Cognitive Decline, and the pre-code report shows you what unique areas you can start working on right away. All of this has been made available by my genius mentor and medical doctor, Dr. Dale Bredesen, who has been researching this for 30 plus years and wrote the best book ever called The End of Alzheimer's. Having Alzheimer's is now an option. There is hope. For more information on how to get your pre-code underway, look for the link in the show notes. Now, back to the podcast. And there's so many tools out there for you to grab a hold on, to check into, to help you prevent that stuff from happening. Personally, I'm grateful now that that event happened to me, because now I have come to the understanding that we don't have a mental illness issue in the world. We've got a brain health issue. And when we understand all the contributors that are affecting our brain health, and we learn how to, support them is the best word, learn how to support and correct the contributors that are off course, then we're going to have better mental wellness. And we're going to be able to deal with anxiety or when stress or, when life hits us, when finances affect us, when marriages are on the brink. How do we deal with that? When the kids are going off the rail, when our businesses aren't growing as fast as we want, or when we're in a workplace that we're just like so unhappy, but we keep on enduring instead of looking for other ways to work, other places to work. That's why I encourage everybody to understand that it's a brain health issue, not a mental illness issue that we've got. And once we learn how to take good care of our brain health, which is what Michael and I are all about because of what happened to me actually what happened to us, what happened to me and my family, my beautiful two daughters, and what they experienced seeing me, mom, pretty bad. And it took a long time to get back from that. And I don't want to see that happen to you. I want to help you understand. Please start working on this now. Don't wait until it's too painful. Like I don't want to get too specific because I know I've got some dear people, some beautiful, sweet people that listen to this, but so many people that we coach will take the money that they have and spend it on a vacation instead of investing it in their health. And their health just gets worse and worse and worse. And then they come to us and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm really bad. Well, it's going to take more time and effort to turn that ship around. One of my mentors once said to me, look, we're either going to pay for it now or we're going to pay for it later. And when you pay for it later, it's going to be a lot more money and a lot harder because it's harder to reverse a disease. It's harder to reverse chronic disease. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk to you about today. And I've got something I read this morning when I was praying, and I was like, oh, I want to share that with everybody. Here, let me just find it real quick. Let's see here. It's from a lovely lady that sends me beautiful, sweet lady that sends me beautiful emails. And I love this. It says, good morning, hope. If you only carry one thing throughout your entire life, let it be hope. Let it be hope that better things are always ahead. Let it be hope that you are stronger than any challenge that comes your way. Let it be hope that you can get through even the toughest of times. Let it be hope that you are exactly where you are meant to be right now, and that you are on the path to where you are meant to be. Let it be hope that your tomorrow will be greater than today, because during these times, hope will be the very thing that carries you through. Have hope that better things are coming your way. Okay, if your past health hasn't been great, then you know what? Now is the best time to start working on it. I've been a medical doctor for all these years, and it hurts my heart to see what I'm seeing out there that doesn't have to be. There's so much that can be done to prevent so much of these things. So that's why we're doing Doctor on a Mission, to prevent and reverse disease and give you hope in the meantime. Because you know what? Without hope, you give up. And I want to give you a big prescription right now. And it is have hope. Start working on your health right now. Little tiny bits, little tiny steps. Be mindful that you're not going to correct it in one day, 1 week. Maybe in a month, you'll feel fantastic. Maybe it's only going to take you 2 weeks, or maybe it's going to take you longer. But you know what? It is what it is. Just be strong. Fight for your health. Be the boss of your health now. Now more than ever. I saw a lady the other day in our urgent care center who was having heart problems, and she had been seen in the hospital 3 times for this. She looked so healthy, but they hadn't gotten to the root cause of why she was having chest discomfort. And so I encouraged her to fight for her health, to be the boss of her health, and to insist that the medical system needed to find out why she was having this. And when they were wheeling her off to the hospital in the ambulance, the husband gave me a hug and he said, thank you so much. And when she was being wheeled off, I just said, hey, remember, fight. This is your health. And she just looked at me like, wow, no doctor's ever talked to me like that. And you know why? It's because I'm so bold and courageous and passionate about standing in the arena right now and almost angry at the current state of healthcare. Actually, I can honestly say I've got a healthy anger at the current state of healthcare. We don't have a healthcare system. We've got disease management. And you know what? It doesn't have to be this way. People need to be empowered with the right tools. And that's just what we need. And gosh, if I can do it for one patient, you know what? Can you imagine that one patient getting empowered? She's going to go ahead and empower her whole family. It's kind of like an investment, it just starts growing and it starts infiltrating throughout the family. So it's compounding interest, where one person is strong in the family, they get better, then they start empowering other people in the family. Me, for instance, my experience with me trying to take my life, I was that low, but it caused me to get better and stronger. And now I'm on a mission to help other people get stronger. You see, where one in the good book, it says where one can lead 1,000 to flight and two can lead 10,000 to flight. Can you imagine how many 3 people can lead to flight? And 4 and 5. And that's how we empower people to be the boss of their health, to get strong and say, I will figure this out. I will go on a journey, a personal journey to learn how to take good care of myself so that I can live and fulfill what I'm supposed to be doing here on earth. Because you're not an accident. I'm not going to get philosophical or spiritual on you right now, but I just want to let you know that you're here to do something amazing in this world. You are not an accident. And it's best when you're in tip-top form, okay? And you can do that, but you got to make it a priority, okay? Because if not, the only thing the healthcare system can do right now, the only thing we're taught in conventional medicine, which is how I was trained as a conventional medical doctor, is to either give it a pill or send it to a specialist who will do a procedure or do surgery. That doesn't have to happen. And that's why I retrained as a functional medicine doctor to get to the root cause, okay? So I am giving you a prescription that says have hope and 2, be the boss of your health, okay? I hope you receive that from my heart, okay? Because this is from my heart to your heart. Have a super fantastic day. Remain unstoppable. And thank you so much for your time. I know time is invaluable and time is very expensive, and I appreciate your time in listening. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Hello, Chef Michael here. If you enjoyed today's episode, we would love it if you subscribed to the podcast and left us a review. Hello, Chef Michael here. If you enjoyed today's episode, we would love it if you subscribed to the podcast and left us a review.